In this video, we're going to apply the quadratic formula to solve a problem. This problem says the equation g of t equals negative 4.9t squared plus 23.7t plus 2 represents the height in meters of a pumpkin t seconds after it has been launched. First, we want to write an equation that can be solved to find when the pumpkin hits the ground. So when the pumpkin hits the ground, that means that its height is 0. And so I can plug in 0 for g of t because that's the height. So my equation would be 0 equals negative 4.9 t squared plus 23.7t plus 2. Now we want to plug into the quadratic formula to solve this equation for t. To plug into the quadratic formula, first I need to identify a, b, and c. A is in front of t squared, so it's going to be negative 4.9. B is in front of t, so it's going to be 23.7. And c is the number by itself, so in this case c is going to be 2. Now I'm going to plug those in. So my quadratic formula is up here, x equals, so I'm going to have negative b, so negative 23.7, and then plus or minus the square root of, and then b squared is going to be 23.7 squared. Minus 4 times a times c. Be careful that you're plugging in negative 4.9 for a, and c is 2. And finally, this is all divided by 2a. So 2 times negative 4.9. Now, what we're going to do, instead of going through the steps to simplifying this ourselves, we're going to use Decimals.com and the scientific calculator there to get our answer as a decimal. So I'm going to bring up Decimals.com. Previously, we've always been going to the graphing calculator when we've been using decimals, but this time we're going to go to Math Tools and go to the scientific calculator. And this is what the scientific calculator looks like. It's a pretty great calculator. It's much easier to use than most of the calculators that you have on your phone, and even better than like a TI-83 graphing calculator. So what we're going to do here is we're going to enter our quadratic formula that we wrote out over here. So we have negative 23.7. And then we're going to do this in 2 steps. We're going to do the plus first, and then we can easily switch to the minus. So we'll start with the plus. We can't enter the plus or minus symbol in the calculator, but we can do them one at a time. And then we have the square root, and then we have 23.7. There's a button for squared, so I'm going to square that. And then minus 4 times a times c. Now, in order to get this fraction bar, what I'm going to do is highlight everything that I've already typed and then hit this a over b. Another way that you can do it is if you hit the a over b first at the beginning before you type anything, then you can just type what's in the top and bottom. But I usually don't remember to do that, so I will highlight everything and then hit this button, and it will put it all in the numerator of the fraction. In my denominator here, I have 2 times negative 4.9. Now, it's giving me my answer here on the right side, negative 0.08. Now remember, what we're looking for is when the pumpkin hits the ground. And it wouldn't make sense for t, the time when the pumpkin hits the ground, to be a negative number because that means that it's hitting the ground before you even launch it, and that doesn't make sense. So this answer is not going to be a valid answer, but I'm going to check the other answer by switching this plus sign to a minus sign. And all I have to do is change it in the calculator, and it'll change my answer here, 4.91. Now that makes a lot more sense that the pumpkin would hit the ground after close to 5 seconds in the air. So I'm going to write that as my answer, 4.919, or I would actually round that to 4.92. And as you can see, that was a lot easier than writing everything out and doing the simplifying by hand. So what we're going to do next is go to the graphing calculator and graph the equation and use it to check our answer in question 1. If our answer is incorrect, we would want to go back to our work and correct it. Oh, the other thing that you're going to do when you do this assignment on your own is take a picture or a screenshot of your work on the graphing calculator and paste it into the space below. If you need help with that, let me know. So I'm going to bring back up my Desmos here, and I'm going to go back to desmos.com, and now I'm going to go to the graphing calculator. I'm going to type in my equation, which was g of t equals negative 4.9 t squared plus 23.7 t plus 2. And here's my graph. I can zoom out if I want to. This is going to be a parabola. It goes much higher than the window that I have selected, but all I'm looking for is where it's hitting the ground, and I can see that it's going to hit the ground right here at 4.92, which matches the answer that I got in question 1. So now I'm going to copy and paste the link to my graph. And remember, when you're doing this, I need to make my window bigger so that you can see the top toolbar. You click on the Share Graph button, and then click on the Copy button, and paste the link into your Word document.